Transport Ministry forms committee to probe KLIA glitch. 3 die in accident involving 4 vehicles. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Amin Carlos and welcome to News on 2. Now, the Ministry of Transport, MOT, will set up a committee to investigate the issue of failure of the KL International Airport's KLIA Total Airport Management System following the recent incident of system disturbances at the airport. Its Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook said the committee is given 1 month to prepare a detailed report to the Cabinet. Now, the minister in his statement said the ministry's Secretary General, Dato Muhammad Khairul Adib Abdul Rahman, would chair the 6-man committee, and the other members of the committee were Malaysian Aviation Commission, MAVCOM Executive Chairman Dr. Nung Sari Ahmad Radhi, MAVCOM member Dato Sri Long Si Wol, Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, CAAM member Afzal Abdul Rahim, CAAM Chief Executive Officer Ahmad Nizar Zul Fakhar, National Cyber Safety Agency, NACSA, Chief Executive Engineer Mad Shah Nuri Mad Zain. MOT's Aviation Division would act as Secretariat. Now, Loke said that the ministry had expressed its appreciation to the passengers for their patience and thanked the airport personnel for their assistance during the incident. Well, on a related note, the Immigration Department refuted claims which went viral on social media of unauthorized entry of foreigners as well as entry of 3 million Chinese nationals into Malaysia during the system disruption at KLIA. Now, its Director General, Dato Khairul Zaimi Daud, in a statement yesterday said during the system breakdown, foreign visitors' check-ins were carried out manually. Well, he added that the foreign visitors had to comply with the regulatory requirements and the immigration's standard operating procedures, or SOPs. Well, speaking further, Dato Khairul Zaimi said security measures have been enhanced while the enforcement teams continue to monitor the situation at the international arrival and departure halls as well as satellite areas. It was reported that the system was back in operation after being restored at the check-in counters, and the procedures have returned to normal. As such, Dato Khairul Zaimi has advised the public to verify the authenticity of the news before sharing and spreading them on social media. Well, the government is in the process of drawing up the National Action Plan, or NLP, for preventing the countering violent extremism, or PCVE. Now, Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the government will refer to several guidelines set by international bodies to ensure uniformity.
Tapi ini baru di peringkat teliti, belum putus lagi, dan dia akan melibatkan pelbagai agensi, bukan Kementerian Dalam Negeri saja. Jadi perkara ini kita akan bincang, mungkin resolusi daripada seminar ini dapat membantu kita lah membuat keputusan ini.
Tan Sri Muhyiddin was met at the International Seminar on Religious Values in Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism at UIA Gombak. As of last year, only 25 countries have had its own action plan for PCVE. While in the Southeast Asian region, 2 countries are in the process of drawing up the action plan, namely the Philippines and Indonesia. Well, free breakfast will be served to children in primary schools nationwide beginning January 2020. Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik said that the special free breakfast program is part of the ministry's initiative to ensure that school children have access to nutritious food to stay healthy and enable them to focus on their daily lessons. The minister said that other possibilities will continue to be explored to ensure that children are able to attend school with great joy.
Ya, ia akan dimulakan pada tahun 2020. Baru-baru ini pun kita ada perbincangan dengan M10. M10 pun bersetuju dengan tayangan tersebut dan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri melihat program tersebut amat perlu, dan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri sendiri melihat contoh di Jepun bagaimana di Jepun telah dimulakan program makanan ini selari dengan 2 konsep utama. Pertamanya untuk memastikan anak-anak kita mendapat makanan berkhasiat.
Dr. Mazli said this yesterday after surveying the repair works at SMK Merbok, one of 171 schools in Kedah damaged by the Lekima storm that hit since 9th August. Well, the Toh Bali Region 3 Marine Police Force tactical team have seized 90 palm civets and 5 tortoises worth 19,000 ringgit in a raid near the Semerak River, Pasir Puteh, on Sunday at 11 a.m. And Region 3 Marine Police Force Commander ACP Nur Zaid Mohammed noted the animals were believed to be intended to be smuggled to neighboring countries, especially Thailand and Vietnam. He said all the animals were all in cages which were placed in the bushes on the bank of the Semerak River when the raid took place.
Okey, semua haiwan-haiwan ini adalah merupakan haiwan yang di bawah Akta Pemeliharaan Hidupan Liar lah. Makna haiwan yang terpelihara yang sepatutnya tidak boleh diekspor atau dimiliki tanpa lesen yang sah.
Briefing reporters yesterday, he said that the team waited for an hour at the location for the owners of the animals to arrive, but nobody turned up. The high demands from Thailand and Vietnam prompted the smugglers to opt to use sea routes to deliver their catches to the two countries. He said that the seizure was the biggest this year. Nur Zaid said the traditional method of catching animals, including using traps, also involved village residents near the forest area. He added that police believe attempts to smuggle out such exotic animals will continue to take place due to the thick forests there, which is suitable for proliferation of the exotic species. The case is investigated under the Wildlife Conservation Act 2010 or Act 716, punishable with a fine of no more than 100,000 ringgit or 3-year imprisonment or both upon conviction. Well, 3 people were reported killed in an accident involving 2 motorcycles, 2 lorries, including one carrying gas cylinders at kilometer 269.9 of the Plus Expressway northbound from Bandar Angedale to Nilai near the Seremban Restaurant Service or RNR area. Now, the accident resulted in a 7-kilometer crawl this morning due to works to remove the 2 lorries involved in the accident. Now, Negeri Sembilan Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Head Superintendent Ibrahim Muhammad Abdul Qadir said the victims were the motorcycle rider and a pillion rider, as well as the driver of the lorry carrying the gas cylinders. And several gas tanks were reported to have fallen off from one of the lorry onto the road, causing the closure of the left and middle lanes. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. The Plus Line urged the people to use the alternative route existing at the Bandar Angedale Toll Plaza. Well, a French tourist was killed after a scooter he was riding was involved in a collision with a car along Jalan Temoyong, Langkawi, early this morning. Now, Langkawi District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim said the incident occurred at 1:18 a.m. when Bilal Fadlun Saber, 21, was on his way to the Chenang beach. Initial investigations reveal that the victim tried to overtake a car but failed and fell off his scooter on the opposite lane. Unfortunately, an oncoming car driven by a 25-year-old local man was unable to stop in time and hit the victim, causing the Frenchman to die at the scene. Muhammad Iqbal said the body of the victim was taken to the Sultana Maliha Hospital for post-mortem. Now, the case is being investigated under Section 41 of the Road Transport Act 1987. Well, police are also asking witnesses to come forward to assist in the investigation. Well, a South Korean national woman who was reported missing while hiking on a hillside at Bukit Pantai, Miami in Batu Fringi, Pulau Pinang yesterday has been found safe. Initial information and investigation said a female friend of the missing woman, identified as Jane, aged 29, made an emergency call at about 7:45 p.m. saying the victim got lost on her way down the hill. Firemen from the Fire and Rescue Department in Bagan rushed to the scene upon receiving the report. The victim was found at around 9:45 p.m. and was brought down safely from Bukit Miami to the ground.
Kita jumpai pada pukul 22.28 berdekatan dengan
Bukit Miami.
Bukit Miami.
Keadaan masa jemput tu kenapa?
Okey, status mangsa dalam keadaan selamat. Nama mangsa bernama Jin Yong Pak, berumur 29 tahun, berasal daripada Korea Selatan.
A total of 32 personnel, which included 16 personnel from the Bagan Jermal Fire and Rescue Department, 7 from the Civil Defence Force, and 9 personnel from the Royal Malaysia Police were involved in the rescue mission. The operation ended at 11 p.m. Well, at least 60 homes were destroyed in a fire in Kampung Authentic Tanjung Batu Kramat, Tawau last night. And Tawau Fire and Rescue Station Chief Shuhardi Delamin said firefighters had difficulties putting out the fire due to strong wind, as well as the houses were built too close to each other. Now, we'll say it, the station received an emergency call at 7:51 p.m. before 4 fire rescue tenders or FRT engines and 53 firefighters from Tawau Fire Station rushed to the scene. Now, the fire was brought under control at 12:48 a.m. and completely put out at 3 a.m. And speaking to RTM, Sharadi said the firefighting operation was also assisted by the villagers, Marotai volunteer firefighters, as well as personnel from the Malaysian Civil Defence Force, APM, and Malaysian Volunteer Corps, RELA. No fatalities were reported, while the cause of the fire and the estimated losses were still under investigation. Now, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has urged Malaysian investors and businessmen overseas to do their part to help the country achieve developed status by the year 2025. Tun Dr. Mahathir said he is happy to see many Malaysians investing and doing business in various fields all over the world.
Still on the same track in terms of economic development. We have missed 2020 because of certain factors, which I don't have to elaborate, but we are thinking that maybe it will be 2025. All this means that the people, especially the business people, must contribute much towards the economic development of Malaysia.
He said this at a dialogue session and dinner with the Malaysian diaspora in Hanoi in conjunction with his 3-day official visit to the Vietnam and at the invitation of Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc. Also present were Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah and Malaysian Ambassador to Vietnam Datuk Sharifah Nurhana Syed Mustafa. He said Malaysia is a blessed country because it is free from natural disasters, internal problems and conflict. Earlier today, Tun Dr. Mahathir was accorded an official welcome at the Presidential Palace in Hanoi in conjunction with his 3-day visit to Vietnam. His arrival was greeted by Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc, and after the national anthem of both nations were played, Tun Dr. Mahathir inspected the Guard of Honor. Well, later both leaders hold a restricted meeting followed by delegation meeting. After the meeting, both leaders witnessed an exchange of letters for the establishment of Malaysia-Vietnam Parliamentary Friendship Group. Tun Dr. Mahathir was accompanied by Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah. Vietnam is an important economic partner to Malaysia. Well, Malaysia and Vietnam set to achieve $15 billion, that's 63 billion ringgit trade by next year compared to $13.3 billion last year. Well, 25 social media influencers from ASEAN countries are selected to participate in the Malaysia-ASEAN Tourism Influencers Key Opinion Leaders, known as Michael 2019 program. And organized by Tourism Malaysia, the program is an initiative to promote attractive places in Malaysia using social media influencers, boosting the Visit Malaysia Year 2020 campaign. MyCall, which started yesterday until 1st September, gives the participants a chance to explore all the 13 states in the country.
From the sharing and reposting of these entries, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and Tourism Malaysia look forward to gain between 2 million and 4 million audience reach as the outcome of MyCall.
More than 30 entries are expected to be shared by the participants throughout the program, including articles, live streaming, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube.
I think I want to show them about the culture about heritage in Malaysia, about food. Yes, it's 2 things is important for me.
I wanna bring it, show everyone that Malaysia have a nice nature and culture.
Michael 2019 is also supported by Air Asia and Sunway Group as co-sponsor for flights and accommodation. Now, work accidents and work-related illness are in a worrying level. Human Resources Minister M. Kulasegaran said in a report released by the 2030 United Agenda for Sustainable Development, at least 3 deaths can happen per 100,000 workers at each time. The minister said the average number of injuries which does not involve fatalities are at least 889 out of 100,000 workers at each time.
Which means workplace accidents and occupational related health illness are at an alarming rate. Thus, this really worries all of us. It also clearly shows the lack of awareness on OSH among the employers, and I hope this year the cost will be able to find a solution on how to educate such employers, because safety, after all, begins with them.
Kulasegaran said workers will be able to improve the quality of jobs and increase productivity level when they are in a safe environment. He said this in a speech at the launch of the 22nd Conference and Exhibition on Occupational Safety and Health organized by the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH, yesterday. The event was also attended by NIOSH Chairman Tan Sri Lee Lam Thai. The government has approved the implementation of the National Digital Identity or National Digital Initiative. Communications and Multimedia Gobind Singh Dio, when announcing this, said the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, will conduct a detailed 9-month study on the implementation model starting in September.
Usaha untuk kita mewujudkan ID digital nasional ini telah pun dibangkitkan sebelum daripada ini, dan saya mendapati bahawa ramai yang menyoal berkenaan dengan beberapa perkara yang menjadi perkara yang penting bila kita sebut berkenaan dengan digital ID. Jadi itu menjadi sebab atas mana kita mengadakan proses 9 bulan ini, di mana kita ini akan berbincang dengan semua yang terlibat supaya kita dapat mendengar kepada semua cadangan-cadangan yang ada daripada industri.
He said the study will identify a holistic national digital ID framework and include recommendations on appropriate implementation models to the government, taking into account the existing MyCard and private infrastructure, among other factors. Gobind was met at the launch of the Perkhidmatan E-Dagang Setempat or PEDAS in Selangor. The National Digital ID is a government effort to help spur Malaysians' confidence in the digital economy. It is not, however, a substitute for the existing National Registration Identity Card or NRIC or compulsory. Instead, it is an advanced method of authenticating a user's identity online. Motosikal dan Enjin Nasional Sendirian Berhad Modernas, a subsidiary of DRB Highcom Berhad, is seeking to increase its market share for its street bike segment to 40 to 50% in the next 12 to 18 months from about the current 30%. Its Chief Executive Officer, Roslan Roskan, said the target can be achieved within 12 to 18 months following the increasing number of street bike demand.
So we are looking at people changing from their normal moped bike. They want to convert to street bike. So Pulsar and Domina actually is a good affordable bike with a good quality for them to change to a new bike. This is the second bike they will have instead of having a moped or kapchai. So they will move to this level of street bike. So this is the opportunity for us to grab those who are changing their bike from moped to a higher cc bike.
Roslan said Modernas plan to launch new models in both moped and street bike segments this year. Almost 10,000 units of street bike motorcycles, which include Pulsar, RS200, V15 and Dominar, have been sold. Roslan said this at the launch of Moderna's Power Store in Petaling Jaya yesterday. The Moderna's Power Store will not only enhance the motorcycle purchase experience, but also provide customers with a holistic motorcycle ownership experience, from financing arrangements, bike enhancements, genuine spare parts, test rides, as well as repairs and servicing by highly trained mechanics. Well, Malaysia will play away to Indonesia in the opening match of their Group G World Cup Asian Cup qualifying campaign. And Harimau Malaya boss Tan Cheng Ho wants his charges to stay calm on 5th September. Now, Malaysia can expect no warm welcome when they travel to Jakarta next month. And for this reason, Cheng Ho wants his men to focus on playing football. He said the first match of any competition is very important to a team's confidence level, but it's never easy to play at the Gelora Bung Karno main stadium.
I think kita selaras dengan apa yang DNA lancarkan oleh FM lah. So far, I think kita yang sort of bermain corak permainan sedemikian, dan saya harap kita akan terus improve lagi masa hadapan. Dan of course this is the way untuk modern football, dan saya harap pemain-pemain pun boleh adapt cepat. Dan yang penting, I think coming to national team more on the result orientation lah.
Asked about his charges condition on the second day of centralized training, the former Kedah boss revealed that winger Muhammadu Sumare still needs to recover from his recent club obligations. Sumare didn't play for Pahang against Sabah due to a groin strain, which happened last weekend, and hasn't been training regularly for almost 2 weeks. His condition is being monitored as he brings a massive impact to the team. Cheng Ho said this when met during a training session at the Kuala Lumpur Football Stadium. And national track cycling champion Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang conceded that Malaysia have backups in the sport who can continue his legacy or record greater achievements. Now, other than being amazed at the champion's mentality possessed by the young racers, Muhammad Azizul Hasni, who was among the first national gold medal prospects at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, said they also had good physical packages. Muhammad Azizul said there was 6 young racers who were indeed highly talented to go far and also had the mentality to become champions. However, the former world Keirin champion explained that the 2 elements would be meaningless if there were no close monitorings and ample exposure to races to glean experience.
Mungkin memerlukan ruang ataupun peluang macam perlombaan kat sini kan. Bila saya spend masa dengan diorang teruja untuk berlumba, tapi mereka tak ada dari segi taktikal tu diorang tak tahu nak buat apa. Diorang macam blur sikit sebab diorang jarang berlumba tau.
Azizul was met at the 2019 National Track Cycling Championship in Nilai. And with that, we conclude this afternoon's News on 2. In our top story, Transport Ministry forms committee to probe KLIA glitch. Join us again at 7 this evening. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos, and thank you so much for watching.